All right, Balance Bosses, I am so happy to bring you Miss Sonya Dunbar, the Geriatric Tooth Fairy. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. I am just amazed with your wealth of knowledge, number one, and how much you've done in your life. You've been in dentistry over 27 years, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So as a dental hygienist, and then segueing into really being passionate about our seniors, which we'll get into. But you started a business with your husband called Mobile Dental Xpress.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And you are co-founder of the National Mobile Dental Conference and the American Mobile Dentistry Alliance, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then you wrote a book and you are on your way in the journey of getting your PhD in gerontology, right?
Absolutely.
So I hope everybody is excited because we are going to touch on some really important topics. And number one, I would like to ask you, Sonya, how did you get the name, the Geriatric Tooth Fairy?
Well, the name came from, it all started with my grandmother who was in a nursing home and they wasn't taking care of her denture, taking it out. Me being a dental hygienist, when I would go see her, I noticed that they weren't taking care of her mouth. And so I started, doing what I was supposed to do. Then her roommate who had natural teeth asked me to help her. So I started helping her roommate. Mm-hmm. And that led to everyone in the whole nursing home eventually was asking me every day when I came to visit my grandmother to come by and help them brush their teeth or clean their dentures. Then when my grandmother transitioned due to her comorbidities, I just developed the name because everyone in the nursing home, they were geriatric. They needed extra help. They were sick. So, and then me being in the dental profession, it just rolled off my tongue one day, the Geriatric Tooth Fairy. Because what I wanted to do is I started doing, after my grandmother died, I started doing it for free to all different type of nursing homes. But I noticed that I could only help and save the people that I could physically put my hands on.
Oh, yeah.
Only people I could help. But my mouth was bigger than that. So that's what got me into being the Geriatric Tooth Fairies, to get an image behind my speaking and telling people about educating people about the importance of oral care in long-term care facilities. So that's kind of where the Geriatric Tooth Fairy came from. And I took the long way around that story.
Oh, that's a beautiful story that started with your grandma. So she lives through you every day in what you do and what you're passionate about, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
And yet I apologize. I forgot to mention that you are a national speaker and you've even been a TEDx speaker. So
yes.
That's fantastic.
But Laura, here's the deal. I only am national because I go to international because I go out of the country. I've gone to different countries to speak about in different nursing homes in third world countries, speaking about oral care there. And the TEDx, I only pursued that because I wanted to get a bigger platform to make people aware of the oral care conditions in nursing homes. So it wasn't that I was chasing it, but it found me because what I was trying to do, I was trying to be that voice for our aging generation. Does that make sense?
That makes great sense. And what a phenomenal way to do that and inspire others to really focus on our seniors. And we were just talking about your book. Your book is a compilation of stories. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Oh my gosh. So for years, almost 10 years, I worked in nursing homes as a clinician. And because you can't give a person in a nursing home an appointment time to see them in their home. So you kind of got to go in because they may wake up and have to have their diaper changed, or may wake up if they have dementia, they may not feel like being seen in the morning. So when I go, I set up. And I take all my dental equipment in this mobile, and I set up in like a beauty salon or where they allow me to be. So when I'm there, I'm there all day. And elderly people like to talk to you. So I just heard so many stories. One I'll share with you really quickly. When I was going into one of my facilities, there's a lady. She knew I came the third Thursday of every month, no matter what. They remember she would wait at the door for me at 5:30 in the morning. She's dressed, perfume, everything on, and she's waiting for me to clean her teeth. So when I roll all my stuff in, she wheelchairs in the room with me where I'm setting up. She's talking about her day. I cleaned her teeth for years.
Mm-hmm.
So this particular day, I was taking her in a room, and she was talking to me, and I was setting up like we normally do. All she's talking about is Walmart and her grandchildren. So then she said, she took a deep breath and she kept talking. I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yes." She did that and air went right past me. She died just in the middle of the conversation.
Oh
I felt death. It was a cold breeze and went right past me. And I said, ma'am. And I kept trying to do it, and she was gone, but she had a smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a pleasant look. She looked sweet. I freaked out, broke down, ran and got the nurses. And at this particular nursing home, and a lot of them, when someone dies, they take them back in their room, they lay them down, and the family comes in and say goodbye. And a lot of them have a do not resuscitate, and then the morgue could come take them out. But that particular day, her daughter, I was just gone. I was in there, I can't do this anymore. Her daughter was coming to see her mom, but she stopped to see me first. Because when someone expires in a nursing home, they close all the doors to all the other residents. So when they roll them out, it won't make everyone upset.
Right.
Even though they're covered up, but people just don't need to see that in their mental.
Right.
So her daughter, all the doors are closed. I was in the beauty salon just bawling. And her daughter came in and she said, "Sonya, I'm so glad that my mother was with you. My biggest fear is that she would die alone." She said she always loved you. And I'm so glad that you were here to see her transition. And it was just, it just made me so full.
Mm-hmm.
So stories like that, but it's happy stories, sad stories, stories that make you cry, but stories that make you laugh. One lady said she was married 50 years to her husband, and he never knew she had dentures until she sneezed and they came out, and he bumped into the back of her. So it's just little stories in there like that. But these people shared with me some wisdom and nuggets. It's called Golden Nuggets of Life. And each person in that book is dead now, but I didn't want those stories to go to the grave as well.
Right.
So that's why I put it in a book.
Oh, I love that. And how special to be there with them at important moments like that for them, and for them to share, have somebody to share with, another person to share with. So that's fantastic. And so did that segue into your business with your husband starting the Mobile Dental Xpress?
Yes. So we were doing so much volunteer work and free work. And eventually I figured out how to get paid doing it. And so now we're in many nursing homes throughout Florida and Georgia. I also help dentists and dental hygienists start to own mobile dental practice. So it's a big hand, and I love it. I used to be clinical, and I'm not really clinical a lot now. Because of COVID, I'll go in and work with some of my hygienists to get them adjusted. But most of the time, no, I'm not clinical, but I love what I do, and I love the way it's grown. And it all started with my grandmother and wanting to help. So I always tell people, if your passion is genuinely to make something better, it will find you. Mm-hmm. It will find you.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect example, isn't it? You just wanted to serve. You wanted to honor your grandma and serve, and look at how it's grown. So with COVID, do you see a lot of dentists being more interested in mobile dentistry and teledentistry?
Oh my gosh, my business partner, Melissa Turner, and I, you met her at the conference. We do at our conference, but so many phone calls have come in. Melissa is the teledentistry guru. So many phone calls have come in about teledentistry and mobile dentistry. They go together like peanut butter and jelly, and how they can get into the facilities. The business, mobile dentistry has been around for a while. People are just hidden doing it. But now it's more upfront, especially teledentistry, because it's an arm. If someone has a brick and mortar building, it's just an arm outside of that building, where they can send a hygienist or assistant out to take some pictures and make it smoother to come back in the office, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what a great way to utilize everyone in the dental team and really maximize their talents, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. So that's just great. Okay. So the next thing I want to ask you about is the S.O.S program that you have for your seniors. That sounds so cool.
Yes, I love the S.O.S program because a lot of seniors in nursing homes, they do not have the necessary supplies or seniors in the community. So the S.O.S program, it gives, if people want to volunteer and donate, we have packages that we give to seniors in nursing homes and seniors in the community, and they really appreciate it. The packages include tongue cleaners, which are really important because they get their medicines crushed and their tongue is coated and they can't taste their food. Dental products, so if they have dentures or whatever, it's custom for them, and it has an instruction packet on there that leads to a video so they can look at the video and teach them how to take care of their teeth. So it's a great opportunity to support seniors and give them something that they need to maintain healthy oral care. Because we all know that the mouth is a part of the body. So many people, especially physicians, they act like the mouth isn't a part of the body, but if your mouth isn't healthy, the whole body isn't healthy, especially as we age.
Right. And it just really adds to all the other problems that they may be having. And and not only that, but seniors, I think they love to socialize while they eat. And so if things are uncomfortable in their mouth and it's not fun to eat, that takes away a bit of their socialization, I think, as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, so you can sponsor a senior for 6 months. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If you have my website going on the bottom, people can sponsor a senior, go there and they can sponsor a senior. And if they have a senior that they know, we can send a package to them, or we'll send it to a senior in the community, because there's a waiting list of seniors that need supplies.
That's fantastic. What a great, oh my gosh, you are the best geriatric tooth fairy ever.
Thank you.
All right, we got to get into some stinking thinking.
Thinking.
Oh my gosh. So you gave a presentation at this conference that we were just at that floored me, absolutely brought me to tears and inspired me so much to think about the words that I use to myself. So
absolutely.
Yeah, tell me the origin of this and why you're so passionate about the words we say to ourselves.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you asked me to share this, because I see this all across, especially dentistry. And one of the reasons, I healed myself, which I'll share, but one of the reasons that I wanted to go public with this in dentistry is because I do so much coaching while I help people develop their mobile practices. And you'll be surprised how so many people say negative stuff about themselves. And when I'm with them coaching one-on-one, the words that they're saying to themselves, it hurts my ears. So I'm sure it hurts theirs. So I developed this stinking thinking program to help us elevate our mind so that we can think better. Now, how it started with me is I'll share a little bit about my speech, how I was born with the disability, dyslexia. I couldn't read all the way through elementary school and most of high school. I had a problem comprehending. The words would jumble and I just couldn't get them out my mouth. And even with math, it was a huge problem. And for years, I called myself dumb and stupid and ugly and retarded. And I just self-beat myself. No one, even though kids would tease me, no one had to do that, because Sonya was damaging herself. Your sticks and stones break your bones, but my words were killing me. And dental professionals, we take care of what's in the mouth, but what's coming out of our mouth is killing us. So that's when it started with me. I started doing the journey of changing my words, but changing my words, we had to start with changing my thoughts about how I see myself. And that's how the journey began.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. So now you have a program that helps other people do this and really elevate themselves. Do you feel like that once we get that right, the sky's the limit as far as what we can achieve?
Absolutely. Here's the deal. We set our own limits. We define our own life by how we think. So if we don't believe, I always tell people, our brain and the universe doesn't have a sense of humor. It's whatever you say is going to believe. It doesn't have a sense of humor. So like I shared, if you tell your brain, oh my gosh, I look so fat today, every mirror you walk past, your brain is going to find a way to believe that, because it wants to believe what you say. Like you tell your brain, this house is hot. Let me turn the air conditioner on. Your brain believes it's hot because it is. So whatever you tell your brain is going to try to believe it. So if you tell your brain you're stupid, then your brain, every opportunity you do something wrong, your brain's will be like, see, you know you're stupid, because it's going to try to believe what you say. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's crazy how much we can change our brain by just even the thoughts that we have and the words that we use, right?
Absolutely. But here is now, we're not going to make it that easy, because it's not. Because here's the thing. I don't believe that we can control the thoughts that come in our mind, because our brain thinks it. But the key to it is learning what to do with those thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you could just be laying on the beach and all of a sudden you'll think about a bunny rabbit. Like, where did that come from? It's so random, right? And so you have to train your brain, or train yourself how to put the right things in your brain, which I call a container. So it involves a couple of things. One is who you're around, who you allow to pour into your life, who you allow to be there. So one thing is energy vampires.
Oh, yeah.
And I do a little program about teaching people how to protect their energy. You have to protect your space. Energy vampires are there. Transference of energy. To every action, there's a reaction. Have you ever, and I'm very keen on this. I'm very keen because people feel your energy before you open your mouth. Have you ever been around, Doc? You've been in a room. Have you ever walked in a room with an upset person?
Oh,
See their face, and you, soon as you see them, you're like, man, because they, oh, here they go. They transfer that. Well, let me give you a quick example. If you leave home and your husband's grumpy and he's having a bad morning, that kind of goes with you unless you shake it off. You know what I'm saying? But that's a transference of energy. Energy always has to have a place to go. So it can transfer to you. And you have to, so one of the practices I do is teach people how to get rid of that. So energy vampires, you have to protect. Like I said in the conference, I protect my energy like I can protect my money and my man. Those are two things I do not play with. Mr. Dunbar and that bank account, I protect that with all diligence. But I protect my energy just like that. It's so important to me who I allow in my space. Second thing is phantom friends. Phantom friends. Fake friends that you think are your friends, but they put negative thoughts in your mind. So there's a couple other things like negative words coming out like bullets from people, but there's so many self-sabotage. We talk about that and know how to deal with that. But all of this gets in your brain and it comes out your mouth. Whatever goes in is going to come out, but the key to it is learning what to do when it goes in.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. That is so valuable because you're right. It really does. And especially I think in the dental world, I mean, just getting through school in the dental world, we are bombarded with energy vampires, right?
Yeah. And dentistry is, you know what? Most of our patients are energy vampires because they don't want to see us.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes people only come to us when they're in pain. So you are already dealing with a wounded soul here. So they're already coming in. So we have to constantly protect and protect our energy and renew our energy and renew our mind. So that the words that come out, because what comes out is what takes form. Once you say something, it starts to develop. So we have to practice what we say.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So do you have one good tip, one simple tip for when you walk into an operatory and somebody is an energy vampire? What's your one good tip so that you keep your energy at a good level?
And I'm going to really be honest, and this is so simple. If you walk into a room with someone and this is going to sound crazy, but it's an easy thing to do. And so many of my people do this. If someone's an energy vampire, say what you need to say. The best way you can say, because you have to talk to your patient, but the rest of the appointment, sing your favorite song in your head, and a rock out song. Like my fog is rocky, dun dun dun. Then I'm cleaning my, I'm working, But you have to get your mind right, because that will come to you, and you controlling your space there, because you really can't leave out because we're on a time schedule. But if you can get a song in your head that's your don't sing, don't do beaches. Something that's gonna make you cry. The song Beth Miller song, right. Wings. That's not a good one. But if you can get a song like that's high energy, something that makes you rock out, and keep that in your head. you know, not earbuds, because you have to pay attention. And when the person asks you a question, because you're hyped and energetic in your mind, your words will come out like that. People are still, some people even hate that, but you still have to hold on to that. Does that make sense? That's a quick one. We have other exercises that we can do, but that's something quick, a quick nugget that we can take away right now.
I love that. There's nothing that uplifts a person more than their favorite song or an energetic song. And it's such an that is so easy to think in your head. And then, yeah, I love how you say then the words that come out are energetic and positive, and that transfer of energy then is a benefit to you and the patient. Now, whether they notice it at that moment or not, it's certainly going to be more well received than if you had a scowl on your face and your words that came out were quiet and more subdued, right? So it could actually shift their energy, couldn't it?
It could shift them, but more important, it is protecting you from receiving that.
Yeah.
Because we don't mind shifting people, but some people aren't going to shift. Some people are just stuck.
Yes.
But you don't want to receive that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then if you do receive it, then we got something else you could do. But you don't want to receive. You don't want to pick that energy up.
That's fantastic. I love it. So you told me earlier that you have a sunflower garden. And so this makes perfect sense, because sunflowers make me happy just looking at them. But tell me about your sunflower garden and why that's important to you.
First of all, my favorite color is yellow. That's one of the reasons. But I'm from Michigan.
Okay.
In the fall, they have a lot of they have rows of sunflower gardens. Now I live in Florida. It's kind of difficult because of the animals that eat them. I have to protect my garden. But up north, there's rows of sunflowers from like end of September till like beginning of November, before the frost really comes. And one thing about sunflowers, that even as a child, I would sit and lay and watch them. They turn to face the sun. The whole top of them, the head of the flower would turn to face the sun. That's one of the flowers that will completely turn from the east to the west to follow the sun. It follows energy. I follow energy. I follow the sun. Now, I'm not going to make this religious, but I follow the S-U-N and the S-O-N. So I follow the sun.
That's beautiful. I love that. And yeah, they are a gorgeous flower, and amazing that they do that every day. They turn. And they get to be so big too. So
I know mine don't get really big, but I love them, and I have some squirrels that just wait for them to grow. These animals in Florida, there's something to deal with, but I love the sun here.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you have a big conference coming up. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, my business partner, Melissa Turner, and I, who also is a friend, we came together, collaborated, because she's a mobile dental, school-based, and I'm mobile dental with the geriatric, and we came together and we developed this conference last year, and we just didn't know it was going to get so big, but mobile clinicians came from California, all over the country, and they were so happy to be together. It was like a family reunion, because mobile dentistry is so lonely. You're not like, as dentistry, we come in the office manager, we know their children, we know everyone. But mobile dentistry, most of the time you're by yourself. You're just an assistant, and you go home. You don't go to an office where you can collaborate with people. So mobile dentists are lonely, and it's kind of a trail by itself. So we brought all these people together. It was amazing. This year, March 5th, 4th through 6th, we already started with the Mobile and Teledentistry Conference in Orlando, Florida. 2022 is already set for Vegas. We're coming on that side of the country to get a lot of those people available to see. But mobile clinicians come with their vans, their buses, so people can look. That's one way of mobile dentistry. The other way, people like me, we drag our stuff in. Teledentistry, we have a teledentistry little mini conference at the beginning. and with mouthwash, and we're going to be talking about the different forms of teledentistry. So mobile and teledentistry has collided, and we are excited about this dynamic force, and it's in person. It's going to be in a person conference. So that's why we went to the conference. We were at to see how to make it safe, and we're really excited. And it's also going to be a hybrid where people, if they're interested in mobile teledentistry, can definitely watch us online.
Fantastic. So when we're done, I want to make sure I get that information for you so I can post it in the group if anyone's interested in checking that out, because I just think of that as a phenomenal way. You know, one of the things that I talk about with balance is that if you do something in your day that fulfills you, you are 50% less likely to suffer from burnout. And so I just think about how fulfilling it is for you to go into these nursing homes and help these people. And I think that that is at the core of a lot of people in dentistry, is to really helping those that need us desperately. And so if someone can do that and join this and learn about this, how they could augment their career, what a beautiful thing. So let's make sure we get that information, and we'll post it in the group if anyone's interested.
Great. That would be great.
Yeah. And you guys have a podcast too, you and Melissa.
Yeah, Dentistry Gone Wild. It's the official podcast for mobile and teledentistry. And that's when we kind of let down our hair, because Melissa Turner and I, we do business, but we really are good friends. And so we do that, and we talk to mobile clinicians and teledentistry people who are out in the field, and we bring that so they can share little nuggets with the other mobile providers and teledentistry users. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty fun. She and I can get together and just hang out there.
That's fantastic. Wow. I can't believe everything that, starting from, you know, going in and seeing and visiting your grandma. Look at how this has blossomed. Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Wow. I bet she is smiling at you every day.
I would like to think so.
Oh, fantastic. Well, is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you would like to highlight in today's conversation? I'm going to check comments, see if anybody has any questions. We'll make sure and highlight those too. But is there anything we didn't cover today?
Well, one thing that I would like to say, you touched on everything, but I would like to say that it's our job to protect our space. We're not obligated to allow anyone to change and to put stinking thinking in our mind, because just like our natural bodies, what we put in it is going to come out. What we allow people to put in our ears is going to come out our mouth, and it's going to affect our life. We control our space. We control our energy, and we are the CEOs of our life. We have the right to hire and fire who we want. You know, so it's sometimes it's hard and difficult, but we have to protect our space. We have to protect our energy, and we have to make those tough decisions. I've had to take people out of my life that's in my family because they kept being toxic, and I can't allow anyone to kill Sonya.
Right.
And with that being said, we honor friendship, and I wanted to put the plug in for Melissa and I. We're also doing a BFF retreat. Hopefully yours truly going to be there. We're renting a log cabin, and we're asking people to grab their best friend, and we're going to get balanced. We're going to get massages. We're going to have a great time. And it's going to be October. We're looking at October of 2021. So it's going to be called the BFF Retreat Refreshing.
Refreshing. So surrounding yourself with other people that lift you up, that set off positive energy. And that way you can not have to protect your energy, right?
Absolutely.
Because they're adding to it. So, awesome. Sherry says, I want in.
Grab your best friend and watch the news feed. It will be out.
Yes.
So first come, first serve. The cabin only holds like 32 people. We're hiring chefs, and I mean, we're going to have yoga. You there, Laura? So
I'm there. You know it.
The keynote speakers, because you have to keep us balanced. And we're looking at some cabins in Colorado. So it's just, right in October, the mountains are capped and the trees are blossoming, and we have the fire pits, and I mean, just taking it in and just recalibrating our lives.
Yeah.
That's right after the kids have gone back to school, and life is sometimes, as women, it drains us. So we need women like this lady to pour it back into us and just to grab our best friend and whatever beverage you like and just take it in. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes complete sense. Can we do it tomorrow? I'm ready now. Oh, awesome. Yes, energy. You are the CEO of your life. So just like you said, you can hire and fire and yep. Do what you need to do to make sure that your life goes the direction that you want it to go, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Well, Sonya, thanks so much for your time today. You are one of the brightest lights that I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. And I know that I will be friends with you for many, many, many years because I love your energy. I want to be around your beautiful soul. So thank you for all you do for seniors, mobile dentistry, and us as women in the dental world. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. And if you didn't catch it live, we'll have the replay available in the group and on YouTube. So we'll see you then. Bye.